Alright, welcome back everyone. This is Karjan with Let's Art, Operation Blinking Mirror Edition. Um, you'll notice something changed over here between the two videos. Um, I've actually gone through and created a bunch of folders that contain the files the layers that I did before, and they're all named appropriately. I figured out which squirrel would be in which place. So, Muku Muku is up here, and I've labeled all of their capes as well. So I don't have to spend time looking back to see who has which cape. Maku Maku, Miku Miku, who is the girl, Meku Meku, and then Moku Moku is that one. And then of course they've got Flik up here, and Nina, and I've got the background. So I need to go into the background and turn off the extra trees. And I'm going to start working on Flik first. Whoops. Ah! Zoom in once more. I play with zoom levels a lot. I apologize if it gets a bit crazy. Okay. So, first thing, I need a new layer. This is another benefit of having all of these folders. I don't have to particularly care about... It gets easier to deal with the layer names. I don't have to worry about them as much. So I'm gonna go with a different color of brush, and there we go. These are, I forget which series they're actually part of, but they're basically a calligraphy style brush, and I have a tendency to prefer working with the flatter calligraphy style. Than the round brushes. I'm not entirely sure why. In a little bit there. So you have the ear, comes down. Flik has a bit of a pointy chin. He's not... Eraser brush. Flik has a bit of a pointy chin. He's not a quote-unquote manly man with, you know, the square jaw and everything else. He's a bit more boyish, despite however old he may possibly be. I don't remember exactly how old he is in Suikoden 2. But he's always been much more of a pretty boy than any of the other I guess hard characters, considering that Flik is a mercenary captain in the second game. So, and this work that I'm doing right here isn't exactly going to be final outline of the character, but it is much more detailed. As you can see, I'm actually attempting to pay attention to things like where the eyes go, and the ears, and then generally keeping the lines a bit tidier, because I always have a habit of making small motions and then lifting my pen up again, which can give some strange jitter that appears. Let's go with a slightly different angle. Yeah, go with that, and a smaller size. To give that. Yeah, that's horrible. I started the eye too far away from the nose line. I don't like this angle. That's what I'm using that one. So let's, maybe this one will do. Too far away. And then of course I need to change this around. Alter that. I think I've made the edge a bit too... yeah. Have I mentioned I don't like drawing humans? 'Cause I don't. It looks far too close to me. So we'll just move this out a little bit. That's a little better. Okay. And this one for this, going in to thin that out in a few of the places. Back in, constantly editing, constantly changing it. And his eyebrows are more straight across. Start thick and then go really thin. Like that. Well, sort of like that. It's good enough. His head's a bit too rounded through here, but that will change. Okay. And then That was actually a very horrible... Yeah. Don't like using that one for that. So I gotta end up continually changing which of these brushes I use based on the angle of the line that I want to draw and how I generally want it to look at the end. He's starting to look a bit too happy. Considering that he's supposed to be hiding from a stalker. He really shouldn't be happy. Well, the eyes will probably end up being changed as I go through. He's got a very sharp face. Looking at official artwork, he's got a very sharp face. He doesn't have pointed ears. That was an accident. Just let's layer via cut. Oops. Layer via cut and go away. Let's remove this. I don't know why I accidentally did that. Okay. I want one in the opposite direction. So, yeah, this one's pretty much my only option. Oops. Although it's a bit too much this way. Yeah. That's a little bit better. Okay. Come on. This should probably be erased and redrawn as well. And this is what a lot of the rest of the videos are going to be. Well, at least until I get into color. When I start coloring... Now he looks Asian. He's not really supposed to look Asian. Oops. Shoot, other direction. There we go. Little eraser. Yeah, that's a little better. Stupid ghost clicks. Okay. Round that off a little bit more. There. So yeah, basically from this point on, I'm going to end up writing, well, adding a line, staring at it, erasing the line, back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. Okay, let's go back to this one. at about 6. But you can see that I don't tend to keep my pen down for very long strokes. I probably should, simply because it does tend to help with smoothness. Okay, just going to throw that line in there. He's actually got a shoulder piece that will end up defining where his shoulder starts, but I want to have that so I can and we get this in here, his knee, down, and you can see I'm sort of ignoring the arm at the moment. I'm mostly just trying to define where some of his body line is supposed to be going. Shoot, I still don't really like this pose. Let's see. Down and in a little bit more. Oops. Up like that. Do some erasing, because that line was terrible. And this line is terrible as well. And I don't want it there anymore. Yeah, the lines are rough, but let's see. He's just got very simple boots. Some of this a little bit. He's got a cape too, so it's going to be interesting to figure out how that falls through here. Okay, now the arm. Down through here. Oops. Down through here. I probably should have cleaned that up a bit more. Oops. And then down into here. Straight line, sort of. Okay, now the fun bit. This is actually a bit too wide of a brush for a good... That's about correct. And then down, 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 down. This way, this way, this way, this way. The pinky kind of stays close. So, not bad, I suppose. It'll do. Yeah, it'll do. Okay. Now, if we remove those, we end up finding that we've got mysterious double clicks in places that they shouldn't be. The leg's not really that great. I think the knee is supposed to be a bit higher. And this should be tucked in a bit more. Whoops. So, as you can probably tell, I do have a tendency to work at a very zoomed in level. In this case, 200. I usually don't go up to 300 except in very specific cases. It's just a personal preference of mine. I kind of have a bit of bad eyesight, and my computer screen is relatively small on this laptop. So I'm almost always zooming in really close. I just really don't like that leg at all. And the neck is off. Yeah, the neck's off too. Just a little bit. It's not a flat thing. It needs to go like this. So it's more slanted. Luckily, most of this is going to get hidden because he's got a fairly high collar on his cape, I suppose that is. Oops. Yeah. Torso. And then yeah, sure. Go flip back to that and a regular brush. See if moving this out a little bit. Go maybe more like that. Yeah, that's probably better. Okay. Back to this. And back to a decent size. It'll do. And Actually, let's erase this first. Because I don't really care for it at all. And then goes up like this. Down. And then into the boot. This gets erased as well. It's something approximating that. Let's erase those lines. Too rounded, but much better. Goes up a little bit more, and the actual knee is right there. Let's get rid of Muku Muku for a moment. Yeah, that's better. Needs to change a bit more though. Up. Down. Up and down and up and down. Erase it out. I think I've made this area up in here too large at this point. Well, no. It looks okay. Well, it looks better than it did. Okay. I believe I'm going to leave that there and call it for now. So I will see you next video.